As expected, several events are usually lined up to celebrate the day globally. In Nigeria, the theme for this year's celebration is Building Enduring Peace and Unity, Panacea for Sustainable National Development. The theme is perhaps not unconcerned with the security breaches which has almost characterized our daily lives as Nigerians. From the Lagos Center this Thursday, we shall be focusing our discussion on the security challenges in Nigeria, with particular reference to the abducted girls in Chibok. The discussion this Thursday is actually hinged against the background of protest by women movements in Abuja on Wednesday over the abducted girls in Chibok, and the planned protest by female activists today in Lagos over the same issue. The protest, which is also scheduled to take place in various states in the country coming weeks. Here we have two ladies who are very disturbed with the developments in the country. And in the house this morning, they shall be joining me in the discussion to lend their voice to the issue of the abducted girls. First is Aisha Oyebode. Aisha is the Chief Executive Officer of the Murtala Muhammad Foundation. Aisha is also a member of the Women for Peace and Justice. Aisha today is being joined by another woman activist, Dupe Killer, who is also a strong advocate for a peaceful Nigeria and the urgent need to get the abducted girls released. You are both welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, first let's go straight to our questions for the day. Today is May Day, and what that translates to is that today is actually Workers' Day for all workers across the world. As a straight point from our discussion this morning, how would you describe the welfare of workers in Nigeria? Let's start with you, Aisha.
Okay, I think I'd like to start this morning by saluting the Nigerian worker. I think that Nigerian worker has been steadfast. I think that given all the various challenges that some of which you have mentioned, I think that it takes a particular kind of resolve to continue to wake up every morning, get dressed, and go to work. And we have continued to do that. So I'd like to really, really salute the Nigerian workers today. And I'd like to say the conditions of work are challenging, but are they improving? I think so, to a certain extent. Can they be better? Oh, definitely. There's no doubt about it. But it's all about collective responsibility. I'm sure all of us here are employers of labor. And I think it can start with us. And of course, we then start to continue to help to push the larger picture so that the conditions of work are much better than they are. Yes.
Okay, so it's the responsibility to ensure that the workers' welfare is well, protected.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, Dr. do you have a different view?
Not wildly different from what Aisha said about the state of welfare of the average Nigerian worker. We have many rivers to cross, if I may put it that way. What we can do is to have some sort of byline to guide us, both for the people working, for the employers of labor, for the regulators as well. And that byline, I think, what can cover it, in my opinion, would be dignity of and in labor. So long as we have at the back of our mind that every person working deserves to be to have dignity or derive some sense of dignity, and you can then begin to break that down to many things. What does dignity mean? Like Aisha said, everybody that wakes up, get up to go to work, should derive some sense of fulfillment, enjoyment, and value creation. To do that, this could be empty words in the air if you're not careful.
Okay.
And to achieve that, there are key things that must be in place to achieve that. And they are not impossible. I'm not going to go far to look at other countries that has been, working very hard at this. I'm going to say
even amongst ourselves, in the workplace, marketplace, anywhere, sharing information, caring about the next person, not in a moralistic, sort of caring, but looking out for their welfare, thinking of sustainability. These are really big topics that we can begin to look at another forum. Okay. But let us let dignity in labor be our byword. Okay, dignity in labor should be the focal point. Yes. But let's look at recently Labour declared that the League of Organized Labour in Nigeria declared that the Boko Haram insurgent and the bombing of Yanya is actually a war on the working class. Do you share this view? I think it's a war on the nation. I think we're all under siege. Absolutely. To restrict it only to that, I think, will be oversimplifying it. The young girls who were abducted, are not technically working class. They're students. These are children who are in the process of acquiring, an education. So, this is, and they've all, 234 of them or more have been abducted. So I think it's not, I don't want us to look at it only in a very restrictive way, because then what it then starts to do is you compartmentalize the problem. We can't afford to do that. I think we all need to now take it as this is a national issue. It affects all Nigerians, and we need to look at it so that when we fight back, or when we all stand up, we're standing up together as one, because it's a real issue. It's a hydra-headed problem, and we need all the unity that we can muster so that we can challenge it. Okay. Now let's go to get back to workers. Precisely, your movement is staging a protest in Lagos this Thursday. And we also know that yesterday there was a big one in Abuja. But let us into what precisely motivated this move. Okay, just to clarify, yes, there's this Thursday we have the Stolen Dream movement. It's called Stolen Dreams, and this is the umbrella byline for all of the dreams of Nigerians, children, male, female, all of the dreams of Nigerians that has been squashed, that would not be actualized. And you can take it from anything, from the lack of accountability and probity in this system, from the lack of required focus on education, health, and other basic things that people deserve in this country, from all the way to just this high, shocking disregard for life in the country. Aisha mentioned how we should not compartmentalize. I'll back that up by saying we should be very careful, especially at high levels, some of the utterances that come up. Shockingly and sadly, you found that all of the issues of security are being politicized. The very day, within 24 hours of the bombing at Yanya, there was a lot of gallivanting all over the country, dancing actually. Where is the sense of honor for the dead? Where is the sense of unity? What is going on in this country? We need help. It's as if someone wants to drive everybody crazy. You have to question what is going on. From both sides of the party, both the government and the opposition, disgraceful. We're confused. Now, the youths are especially hard done by. Look, take anybody in government right now. If that person hasn't spent a lifetime in governance, check the person's lineage. Someone in that person's lineage has been in government for 30 to 40 years. What this does is completely cut off people that should be taking their destinies in their hand. For good or for bad, move these people into taking control of their affairs. It's regrettable that a 35-year-old still does not know if he or she is coming or going. In fact,
they're still struggling to get out of this country and then start living.
It's still a leader of tomorrow.
It's still a leader of tomorrow, stolen dreams. All of the girls from Chibok, I don't know this conspiracy of silence over their matter. We've not heard from the highest office in the country over their matter. It has happened. I hear someone is asking for pictures. The height of disregard. Why are you asking for pictures? Go get them. Why are you asking for pictures? If you want pictures, you know what to do.
Okay.
You liaise with the family, you engage the family, formally, informally, you can get what you want.
Okay, what kind of strategy are you taking to make sure that this protest today does not, develop into something else?
It's funny you say that. Maybe, hopefully, AIT will be there to cover it.
Okay.
Out of the ashes of what's happening, we have found that Nigerians have stood up together, unified, in one voice, saying, no, bring back our girls.
Okay. So,
everybody wants a solution. We want the president, we want this government to do well. Because when the government does well, we do well. That's how it goes.
Okay.
So, in terms of making sure the protest doesn't go bad, people feel this is about at least the missing girls. People feel a sense of duty for this to go well. And the key word is that this is a peaceful protest and rally. And we're hoping the police and every other security outfit out there would understand this and support us in ensuring this happens.
Okay. And let's hear from you, Aisha. A Nigerian Afrobeat maestro, late Fela Anikulapo, once said that talked about fear, tears, sorrow, and pain. This seems to be the cup from which the parents and even Nigerians are drinking from as it relates to this particular issue of the Chibok girls. Now, tell us what does this imply for the country? As a people, because our human instinct is gradually, being eroded. Just yesterday, 3 suspected kidnappers were burned to death nearby Borno State, which means Nigerians at every slight provocation ready to take life. Yeah. What does it portend for us as a people?
It is frightening. It really is frightening. And one of the questions that keeps playing in my mind is, what does it mean to be a Nigerian? In fact, what does it mean to be a Nigerian child? How does it feel, giving all of these things that we're talking about, to be a Nigerian child? We're plagued by, like you say, tears, sorrow, and pain. And now this is now being compounded. It appears that, it's just spiraling out of control, and is being compounded as being compounded. But you see, to take also what to say, maybe this is now, there's a positive side to this, because you see, you get to a point where you say, enough is enough. This now has to be a turning point for our nation, and that is why it's very important. They are having a protest today. Women for Peace and Justice had one in Abuja yesterday. Some people, the same group, had one in Ibadan. We're having one on Monday here in Lagos.
There was Kano as well.
Yes. Kano is ongoing. The Port Harcourt. I mean, all of what we have said, unlike before where we'd all come out on one day and protest and then we'd all go home. Now it's a chain of protests. So we're taking it. So it's like you're passing a baton. So when they're done, we move on and we pass it to the next person. And our view is that we're going to continue to protest. We're going to continue to ask questions. We're going to continue to look for answers, seek solutions. We're going to continue to hold those that are responsible accountable. Look, I mean, take the issue of, what's happening with the missing girls. Prior to that, in February, when they had the Bunia massacre, well, that's what it is. It was really. There's still allegations that at least 24 girls
Yes.
were abducted. Where are those 24 girls? How can we honestly, in all good conscience, go to sleep at night when there's so many of our children missing? It just doesn't make any sense. And how is it possible? I mean, Google Earth, you know what? I mean, it's such a simple device. We have even those that, and those are devices that are not unique to one country.
Absolutely.
And we have this kind of mass movement of children.
Without any trace.
The country is disturbing.
Okay, Aduka, let me get back to you. When she was talking, she talked about protest of many, parts, and reminded me of the coat of many colors. Can we now say we now have protests of many colors in Nigeria? Because yesterday, while the protest, against the Chibok girl, pressing home the need to get more about the Chibok girls, there was another group, the Good Initiative group, also protesting. How do we juxtapose all of this? In the face of all of this, we are having people who are clamoring for what's called re-election. In some other climes, you find when there are issues like this, the Prime Minister of a country recently resigned because of a boat mishap that claimed life. But here we have people now protesting that we must come back for a second time. What is happening in Nigeria?
What is happening in Nigeria? It's a question we're all asking. In terms of our protests and all of the protests going on in the country, they're synchronized.
Okay.
And we're all working together because it's for the good of the country, it's for a unitary aim. So whereas you have many strands of the stream, it's pulling to the same point. That point is the call for change, the call for accountability, and then the call to make Nigeria the great nation it should be.
Okay.
I don't like to expend energy overly on the sort of campaign that we saw where people were asking for the president at the same venue where people went to wail, tears, blood, pain. You need to see the pictures of the mothers and fathers of this girl. No matter who you are, something would break down inside you. Whilst I don't want to pay too much attention to those who came out to discuss an entirely irrelevant point, not all of the people campaigning for stolen dreams, bring back our girls, the Chibok girls, not all of them are of the same political orientation.
Okay.
But this is just a unifying point. It is sacrosanct. There is nothing to separate us over this. And that highlights the wrong motive of the other campaign. We didn't spend time on it, but it shows us that there's a problem in this country. Like you said, people's emotions, feelings, sense of right and wrong, basic right and wrong, nothing too deep, is gone. It's going. For what? A bag of rice? A can of milk? What are we doing? I challenged the women on that campaign. I challenged the men on that campaign to think about what they've just done. History would not forget it.
Okay. Aisha, let's get back to the issue of the abducted girls. Today is a workers' day, and a lot of labor leaders will be making statements today, messages. What do you expect, to characterize the messages of work, the leaders of a work group today, against the background of the theme for today's celebration?
I think one of the key things, given what we're talking about, is that we need to bring back our girls, and we need to bring them back alive. I think that's very important. I think we cannot overemphasize that. We must bring them back alive. And I think we need to start thinking about the girl child, the rights of the girl child. I think we need to start thinking about the rights of people to want to educate their children. Yes, there are different views out there, but those who have taken the decision to educate their children should not now be afraid to do so. And for that to happen, then we need to demand better protection of our children. Our children need to be better protected. How can we have a situation where we had Buniyadi in February? Before then, we had various incidents.
Yes.
How did we not know that these girls needed to be protected? How is that possible? So we need to ask for better protection. We need to ask for better accountability. Look at the amount of money that has been spent on defense in recent times. Where is it going to?
That's a big question. We all must begin to ask. Let me, as we gradually wrap up this segment, let me ask this question. What would you say is the future of the Nigerian worker as the country joins their counterparts across the globe to mark the 2014 Workers' Day?
The future of the Nigerian worker is really bright. We have to keep believing. We have to stand up for the right things, and also think about all of the items, issues that relate to the dignity of labor.
Okay.
I charge the Nigerian worker to be selfless, to understand their role in history, and to do all that's required, including speaking up.
Okay, so everybody should speak up to make sure that the worker is protected.
If not us,
okay.
then who?
Okay, Aisha, your parting word.
Yes, my parting word is when we're looking at the future of the Nigerian worker, we need to look at the future, the leaders of tomorrow, because they are the future of Nigeria.
So we must protect the
Yes,
leaders of
we
tomorrow.
must protect, we must educate, and we must equip them so that they can be the future of Nigeria.
Okay, thank you very much for doing justice to the topic we have discussed today. Thank you very much. And this morning I've been joined by two wonderful ladies, Aisha Oyebode and Dupe Killer. Both of them are women activists, and they are very much disturbed with the issue of the abducted Chibok girls, and they are also asking that the welfare of the Nigerian worker must become paramount, and government at this point in time must put as top priority the welfare of the workers and the security in the country. I want to thank both of you for being a part of the program this morning. And at this point, I want to hand you over to Abuja, where my colleagues are waiting to conclude the program. My name is Kehinde Ojo. Do have a wonderful day.